What's up, nation? It's your boy Duo, and today I have something very disgusting and horrible to show you. This abomination is Timelord Mystic Mine. I've been experimenting with this deck for a while, and I feel like I'm finally starting to have confidence enough in it, so now I'm going to show it to you guys. Let's get into the profile. We're going to be starting off with all of our Time Lords. So all the Time Lords have the same effect, that they can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. Neither player takes battle damage, and then at the end of the battle phase, if they battle, they do some effect that normally involves burning the opponent. And then fourth, during your standby phase, they shuffle themselves from the field into the deck. So we're going to start off with Sandion. This one has a specific effect that it can only be summoned if only your opponent controls a monster. At the end of the battle phase, it will inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent. This is great if you're going second because it has 4K, so it can out basically any monster in the game. Then we are playing 3 copies of Mikion. At the end of the battle phase, if it battled, you half your opponent's life points, so we're obviously looking, this is our big burner. 3 copies of Camion. So at the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, you can shuffle 1 card your opponent controls into the deck. But the key text here that we need to be mindful of is neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. So it has a spell speed 4 effect, like much, like Super Poly or kind of like Red Reboot or whatever you want to call it. So, this is how you're going to be outing the Dragoon and the DPE and whatever negation effects you might be worried about. Then we are going to be playing 3 copies of Time Maiden. So this is just your searcher, but this card is incredible. It can also get +1 with a specific combo. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. This card can be treated as 2 tributes for a tribute summon of a Time Lord monster. You can tribute this card, add 1 Time Lord monster with 0 attack from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 1 Time Lord monster with 0 attack from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions. You cannot special summon other monsters during the turn you activate this effect. So what's important about this is that you don't necessarily have to special summon this. You can normal summon it, then tribute it to search a Time Lord, and then because you haven't special summoned, you can also in the same turn banish it from your graveyard to then summon a Time Lord. So this is a +1. It is incredibly good, and people definitely need to play this. Then we are going to be playing 2 copies of Gameciel. This build is actually going to be blinding second, so we are going to take advantage of these unblockable card effects, which are amazing. Gameciel obviously does not need much explanation. 1 copy of Planet Pathfinder. We are playing Mystic Mine, and so we definitely want that additional searcher. Then for some draw cards, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Extravagance, 2 copies of Duality, and 1 copy of Desires. We got to do it for the fans. It's tradition at this point since I won an OTS championship. Playing 1 copy of Desires, I figured we just got to do it for fun. And 3 copies of Mystic Mine, 1 copy of Terraforming, 1 copy of Foolish Burial. With Time Maiden's Graveyard effect, this card basically just says summon a Time Lord from your deck. 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster to out back row, 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More to out those Break My Board decks, and then we are going to be playing a lot of Floodgates. Obviously, Time Lords aren't necessarily that good because you can really only control 1 and then they shuffle themselves into the deck. So it's really hard to win a resource grind with this archetype, so we will be instead trying to stun our opponents with Floodgates. So we will be playing, there can be only 3 copies, and then 2 copies of Rivalry of Warlords and 2 copies of Gozen Match. I don't feel that these 2 are good enough right now. I feel like with decks like Drytron, Salamangreat, Eldritch, like these 2 just aren't really going to do a lot, so I decided to just play them at 2. 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. Obviously, you really need to be able to protect your Mystic Mine, so this is always a good card to play. Moving on to the side deck, we have 3 copies of Sphere Boy. We want to be able to break boards more consistently. In case we are running up against a specific matchup where Rivalry and Gozen are good, then I figured we'd side the 3rd copy of those. 3 copies of Evenly Matched, just a great advantage gainer. 3 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance, so that way we can slowly stop our opponent from activating cards like Feather Duster and Lightning Storm. 3 copies of Quaking Mirror Force. I figured this would actually be a really good card in combination with Mystic Mine. because now they will keep their monsters on the field, just they will be permanently set. And then 1 copy of Metaverse in case I do get forced to go first, then this will be good for activating Mystic Mine from the deck. Moving on to the extra deck, this is pretty simple. We have 3 copies of Elder Entity Intis and 3 copies of Fossil Warrior Skull Knight in case we do get Dogmatica Maximist. There really isn't a use for the extra deck. And then I just decided for the other 9 slots we would play some waifus. So we have 3 copies of IP Masquerena, 3 copies of Holly Angel the Bay, and then 3 copies of Luna Light Saber Dancer for all those furries out in the audience. But that'll do it for the deck profile, and let's get into the matches. Alright, so starting off against our first deck, we're going to be playing against some Rose Dragon variants. Couldn't have said this better myself, thanks Yannick. So moving on, he's going to start off with Ruddy Rose Witch. He's going to use that to get Witch of the Black Rose, and then he's going to stack a monster. This is going to be Rose Girl. He's going to normal summon Witch, and then he isn't going to summon. I'm going to activate Desires. I'm going to banish 10, draw 2. Normal summon Time Maiden, use its effect to tribute and search, and... Okay. This match is going to be against Stun. He's going to be going first, activate Extravagance, then draw 2 cards. He's going to Duality into Demise, Border, and Solemn Judgment. He's the greatest player of all time. Adds the Border, puts the other 2 back. Then he is going to set 3 cards and normal summon Pachycephalo. I'm going to activate Duster. He's going to Judgment. I'm going to try to pressure with a Time Lord. He's going to Compulsory Evacuation Device. I'll activate Mystic Mine and pass. He sets 2 more. I activate Time Maiden. He Solemn Strikes that. I activate Desires to draw 2 more cards. That's going to be able to slide. We're going to get into 2 more spells. He's going to flip Inspector Border and activate Harpy's Feather Duster and then attack for 32 direct. Then I'm going to activate Extravagance to draw 2 more cards. I'm going to normal summon the Sandion, swing over the border, and also inflict 2k direct. Then I'm going to summon Camion, and we have another Rage Quit. Starting off with Prank Kids, he's going to win the Rock, Paper, Scissors, and he's going to start to do his Prank Kids combo, blah, blah, blah. No one cares about this. Okay, my turn. Right out the gate, he's going to activate Bow Out to get 2 Prank Kids back into his hand. Then I'm going to activate Extravagance to draw 2 more cards. That will resolve. I'm going to activate Mystic Mine, set 2, and we will be on to game number 2. Starting off game 2, he will make me go first. I will set Rivalry. There can be a...
Oh no!
He's going to evenly match. I'll negate it with Judgment. Then he is going to activate Cosmic to banish my Rivalry. And then he's going to pass. I will summon Mikion, attack directly, and then half his life points. Then he is going to normal summon Roxy's. Now this is a key point because I activate There Can Be Only One here. And this is the only scenario against Prank Kids where There Can Be Only One can work, because it's now summoning a rock into another rock. Every other interaction is basically guaranteed to fail under There Can Be Only One. I'm going to summon Mikion again and half his life points 1 more time. And then he's going to take his turn. Now he has 2 Prank Kids. He's got Bow Wow. He's going to be able to trigger all of his Prank Kids. He's just going to be able to activate a bunch of cards. This game is basically chalked. Going to start doing some pretty big crazy Link plays, and then ultimately he's going to make Unicorn, and then he's going to spin my Mikion, and then he will make Access Code Talker to close it out. Little overkill, but honestly I'm playing Mystic Mine and I respect it. Finally, with game number 3, people haven't rage quit yet. We're going to open Judgment, and that looks good. You're going to Ash the Duality. We're going to set 3 and pass. He's going to evenly match me again. I actually won't be negating it with Judgment this time. I just didn't feel like it was correct. I want my life points. He's going to set 1 and pass. I'm going to Camion to spin his back row. He activates Imperm. Then he is going to pass. I'm going to activate Time Maiden, get my +1 combo. I'm going to summon Mikion here, which is going to have his life points. And I'll pass to him. He's going to summon a Prank Kid, which is going to let me activate Goes and Match, completely locking him into those wins. Then I'm going to activate Extravagance. I'm going to banish 6 and draw 2 more cards. He's going to be fine with that. I'm going to activate Mikion, half his life points again. I'm now just one attack with Sandion from closing this out. I'm going to activate Desires to draw 2 more. I'm hoping for like a Judgment for added protection. I don't get it. Attack with Sandion. He's going to Valor it. I'm going to keep the Fancies on the field, set 1 and pass. He's going to activate Place, fetch Lampsies, but he doesn't really have anything. I have another Sandion. I'm going to swing for a game, and that'll do it. And that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like and leave an angry comment about how much you hate Mystic Mine. Also subscribe while you're down there. I'd much appreciate it. And that'll do it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.